I'd like to welcome you all to our first week of our at-home pilgrimage. I'm hoping that you've been able to have a look at the video that we presented, which tried to give an explanation of our new form of religious education during term 2 of 2020. St. Eugene de Mazenod said to us that when there are new needs, then you have to find new means to do it. And delivering religious education in this formula of a pilgrimage is what we're hoping to do. Our first step along this journey of a pilgrimage is with the concept of perseverance. Perseverance is one of those great character strengths that have been identified by the students as the most required character strength that so far they've been called upon. We know that perseverance might best be described as the hard work I have to do after the hard work I've already done. And in these weeks that we're going to be covering for our pilgrimage, your teacher will guide you on a wonderful journey, hopefully where you get to grow that character strength even more within your family. There are some special passages from the Bible that your teachers will be able to choose from. I just wanted to share one with you that I think is particularly helpful. It's from the letter to the Romans, and it said, "We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, and character produces hope." We also know inside our culture we have the concept of kia kaha or kia kaha, depending on which part of New Zealand you're from. But we know those words mean to stay strong, to be strong. We've had perseverance as a core value of the school for so long, but I also know that for some of you, perseverance is a really hard character trait to access. It really feels like it's a hard one, and today, and in this week of our first week of the pilgrimage, it's a particularly tough one. I'm hoping that also you get to find a few stories out about Jesus, and there's one I wanted to share with you just to be able to show what some of the stories are that can be taking place. We know that on Jesus' journey to his death, he had a number of falls along the way, and he didn't stay down, he got back up again. And from the Stations of the Cross that we celebrate here on a Good Friday, we have the following passage that I think again tells the story of Jesus that we're really hoping you get to know better during this time. And it said, "The weight was unbearable of the cross. Jesus falls underneath it. How could he enter our lives completely without surrendering to the crushing weight of the life that so many people have to experience? He lays on the ground. He knows the experience of weakness beneath the unfair burdens that were placed on him. He feels the powerlessness of wondering if he will ever be able to get up and continue. In this instance, he's pulled up and he's made to continue, and the next step he takes is perseverance." There are plenty of other stories that continue in Jesus' life that show perseverance. Throughout the course of this particular lesson that your teachers are going to be able to give you in the course of this week, they're going to share stories of influence, they're going to share music, they're going to share different aspects that they really feel will get across their message of perseverance. I've got one little challenge that's going to be taking place throughout the course of this pilgrimage. And this week's challenge will have a series of them. Your teacher will set you a series of challenges which asks you to leave the computer that you're now looking at this from, to practice these strengths within your family and within the community. Not yet publicly, but practicing at home for when we do. And one ancient tradition within the Catholic Church that is a prayer of perseverance is the Rosary. For many decades and many centuries, people have found the Rosary as a prayer that they can access when in particular need. But in truth, it is a prayer of perseverance. For those who want a quick fix prayer, for those who want words to come really quickly and once off, this is boring. This is boring to you, and it requires an effort to keep going when you want to give up. It is the hard work I have to do after the hard work I've done. And I asked and I was received some beautiful rosary beads here that belong to Miss Picano's father, and his name is George Hides. And George had these since he was a child, and they became a special gift to his family. And his family have kept that special gift, and I'm going to ask him now to pray for us. Within the resource pack that your teacher will provide, will be the way to pray the rosary. And if they don't, you could Google it online and look for it as your own challenge to set. It is hard to do, to stay connected to a prayer that asks you to repeat the same prayer 50 times. It will be easy to give up, but it will be perseverance to keep going. Kia kaha will be the necessary strength for that. And just finally, in this little place, I'd just like to share a little own personal story of perseverance. The choice of this little video is not by accident. It's not just because it's in the beautiful grounds of the school. I wanted you to be able to see in the background Graham's Crossing, the crossing lights that you know exist on North Road. When I was in grade 6, Graham Blatchford died here behind us in a tragic accident that no one could have seen coming and prevented. It devastated the Lyndham State School community and it devastated the Iona School community. And I was in grade 6, leaving the school in a bus from our main entrance, and we looked across and we saw it. And we saw the sadness and we saw what happened in the aftermath. And it was devastating. And I came back to Iona in 2015, and to see that that crossing was as unsafe as it had been on the day of Graham's death was devastating to me. How could those years have passed and it still be as unsafe as it was when he died? In the meantime, there had been measures put in place when Lyndham State School existed where we're now sitting, but when Lyndham State School closed in 2010, that changed the safety mechanism of down there, and all those evaporated. I worked with council, I worked with the state member, Joan Pease, I worked with everybody, and for 3 years we couldn't find a way through. And eventually we were getting no after no for every measure we put in place. Was a zebra crossing going to be safe? Was a tunnel? Was a bridge over the top? I was nearly going to go and paint the road myself. We were so frustrated, but we would not give up. It wasn't enough. We had to keep pursuing, finding a way to help people see. And eventually we found a way. We offered to pay for the construction ourselves and not require council support. Even though we honestly wanted to work with them, council knew that we needed to be in partnership, and they provided the drawings, the infrastructure, all of the work necessary at no cost for us to be able to do it. And then our state member, Joan Pease, was able to be with us along the journey to help us to establish safety here. And we eventually, finally got the yes. And the yes meant that this crossing could be built that forever kept this place safer, and so that Graham's Crossing was the name that it was given. You can watch a YouTube clip about the opening of Graham's Crossing on our YouTube channel that I really hope you're having access to, because you will get to see wonderful stories. But you might know the crossing is there. You might maybe wonder why I get a bit annoyed when people don't cross at the crossing. When you've worked hard for 3 years and had a memory for nearly 40 years of a death at that cross, that is perseverance. It's my little story of perseverance. I could not accept no for an answer. I had to find a way for there to be a yes. Now, when you turn that into prayer and you turn that into a love of God, that's what we're hoping this week gives for you. Perseverance is our first character strength that we are exploring for this first week. I can't wait for your teachers to set you the challenges. I really hope you have a lovely time doing it. Kia kaha, you're in our prayers. Good luck at your at-home pilgrimage. Keep us all in your prayers. I look forward to hearing your stories. Thank you.